Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And I'm making a video out for you guys today because I've actually been asked this a lot while I've been streaming Wiz. So I thought, why not? Just give my opinions and my thoughts. Quiero que hablar por las cosas que yo pienso. That made no sense. Or it did. I don't know. It's been a while since I've taken Spanish. But anyways, Wizard101 is out on Steam. And I thought I would share what I really think about it. And I'm gonna be brutally honest. I don't want to be like that guy that just, tries to, whoa, suck the ridiculous. Oh, well, sorry, dude. A lot of coughing. I thought I would actually give a lot of opinions on this because I think there is a good and a bad when it comes to King's Isle and releasing, Wizard101 on Steam. And one of the major things that I think we should talk about, before we even talk about the bad things, let's talk about the good things, right? I mean, you get more exposure for Wizard101. It's probably going to be under the MMO category, which is actually, not competed that much, So, if someone's actually into an MMO, chances are they're going to find Wizard101. It could be under free-to-play as well. That one's a little... King's Isle. You about to put under free-to-play, my man? You better... it's not free-to-play. But anyways, more freemium model. If y'all know what that is, basically, you pay for things as you go. It's not free-to-play. Right now, it's not. But if they do it under MMO, I feel like it would get a lot of exposure. That's really great. I think one of the great things about the timing, and we'll talk more about this, the bad aspect, but the good aspect is that they just updated the graphics. Look at this, my man. The arena looks beautiful. I mean, if you go to some place, you can go to some places like Nightshade and actually be blown away by how good the graphics are. So for somebody who's just starting the game, who knows nothing about it, being put into Wizard City, I mean, hey, I feel like the retention, the amount of people who stay in the game after just the free-to-play part, I feel like it'd be higher now than it would have been a few years ago when the graphics were absolute trash. So I think that's also really good, for the Steam release. And also, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I think on Steam itself, they made a great trailer. I think what they were really focusing on, which I liked, I'm not going to really show it on this video because, it'll just be me reacting silently for 3 minutes. But, I think what I really liked about that video in general is that it touched on a lot of aspects, It touched on the fact that there's a very intricate storyline. It touched on housing, fishing, gardening, PvP, all kinds of things. So the fact that it's all encompassing, I could really feel that when it came to the trailer too. So far, we've talked about some really good things, right? I mean, more exposure. There's a lot of ways, to draw people. And what I really want to say, as my final thing on the good portion when it comes to the Steam release, is that I think what really worked for King's Isle in the past were commercials. And I just don't think commercials work as well anymore because I just don't think as many people will just watch the TV. When I was a kid, I was watching, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. I was watching all kinds of joints, and then I see my man's Merle, advertise it to me I'm in. That's how you drew people. But now you can't really do that anymore. So I think releasing on Steam is a really good idea in terms of that too. I think a lot of people are really stuck on the whole commercial thing. But I really feel like, just taking a social media advances and, working through the internet and going on different platforms on the web. That's a better way to advertise your game now than a commercial will ever be. And I think they did a great job with the trailer. So those are some good aspects of, the Steam release. Now let's talk about the bad aspects, because I definitely think this isn't going to be a perfect thing, and I'm going to tell you why. One, I definitely think that if you really are going to have the potential of gaining so much of a larger audience, you have to think about it. If you have a huge audience on Steam, the game's gonna explode. It's a huge marketing it has marketing promise, If you get a lot of people into the game, right? You wanna make sure that they see the game for what it is. And right now the paywall makes it so that you can't. And I think that's really tragic because one of the best things about this game is the storyline. You know, like, I don't want to really, like, you know, talk about, like, Morganth or Old Cobb. All I'm going to say is Malistaire, that's a really, really good storyline, alright? I mean, spoiler alert. I mean, spoiler alert for, like, anybody who hasn't done it, which I don't know why you wouldn't. It's really worth it. But, like, you're talking about a guy who loses his wife, gets lost in his own rage, and goes through 5 different worlds to steal a book of life and death, to summon a titan that's like an ancient monster from centuries ago, all for the sake of love. That's believable. If somebody's really in love with someone and they would do anything to bring them back to life, that's insane. That's a believable story. And I feel like you're missing out on that story if the paywall is at Triton Avenue. You know, like, I just don't think that they're making a very smart move by just releasing the game to such a large audience and not showing them what Wizard101's all about. I'm not saying that you necessarily have to make the paywall like at the end of Wizard City or the end of Crocotopia, but I do think that you need people to know about the plot, like, much, much sooner, at least. Like, people need to know about the storyline. I know there are some quests about Malistaire. You don't really learn that much. You know, you really don't. I just think they just need something. Maybe, like, you know the thing that they did with Grizzleheim where you could visit it for a little bit? Maybe, you know, they could add, like, a few quests where you could look into the future and you could see, like, Mouser breaking my man's out, Meowyardy out, or you could see him, like, you know, stealing the Croconomicon. Maybe you could, like, look into the future or something while being in a free-to-play. Because I honestly just don't think that you're going to be, like, you know, capitalizing as much as you can on people entering the game if they can't really see the game past Triton Avenue. So I think the paywall is a huge problem with the Steam release. Another thing that I think could be a really big problem is that I don't think the graphics change was done to the point where you could, like, actually, like, release it to so many people and expect all of them to stay, you know? Like, why not make the graphics update and expand it to Crocotopia and Marleybone a little bit so that when people are first starting the game, they don't immediately just see that the game is, like, low-key under development still, you know? Like, I just think that there's a huge difference when you're walking out of Nightshade, you go through the commons, and you see, like, all this, like, all these beautiful-ass textures. And then you walk into, like, Cyclops Lane, and it just doesn't look that good, you know? I think they should finish the graphics update and try to expand it as much as possible before they release it to a larger audience. They have time for that. I mean, they kind of don't. But, I don't know. It seems like a weird move, in my opinion, to release it to so many people. Like, it seems like if I were them, I would have made the graphics better in every area that needs it. Like, you know, I would do it through Dragonspire, no questions asked. And I'm not sure if there's a lot to ask because the graphics change. They've done it once, but I'm sure it took them a lot of time. So I'm sure it might be, like, you know, a very, very hard thing to do. But I definitely think they should work towards that. I don't know, y'all. That's just my humble opinion. And finally, this is a very small point, but I just want to save it to last because you know what kind of channel this is. I didn't like that in their trailer, they talked about the storyline. They talked about questing, you know, they talked about pets, they talked about, like, gardening and fishing. They spent quite a bit of time on housing, and then they just, like, throw in PvP, like, at the very end. I don't understand why they keep doing this, and it's honestly really annoying me. If I'm being very honest, I really, like, the PvP part of the trailer was epic. It looked epic, bro. It was like some kind of, like, house. Again, I would watch it. I'll leave the link in the description of the Steam page. It looked epic, and they, like, put it at the very end like it was a second thought. I just don't like that they're not, you know, advertising the fact that PvP is a huge part of this game. Some people only play MMORPGs for the PvP. Like just think about Minecraft. Do you know how much the PvP scene made up in terms of that game? I don't know why they're downplaying it so much, but I would say that as far as the Steam release, it was a great idea, yeah. But it's not going to be a great idea if you don't advertise things evenly and honestly proportionally, because more people are into PvP right now than any other time. You can go into the arena right now and you'll see so many people. It's literally Wednesday, my dudes. And look, we're not even in, like, that crowded of a realm. We're in Bernie. It's not even a full realm. Do you see how many people are here? And you're telling me that you can't put PvP before housing in the way you advertise the game? That seems a little weird to me. I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the video. A lot of you guys wanted my opinion on the Steam release, and I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you the positives and the negatives. This could be a really good thing, but not if KingsIsle doesn't do it right. So, that's my humble opinion. I hope they watch it. They probably won't, because, you know, they only care about, like, 2 creators ever. But, I want to hear what your opinions are, in the description below, in the comments. Let me know. What do you think about it? I also want to hear some opinions about what you guys think about the fact that you have to make a new account in Steam, which is going to stop people from buying it on Steam if they already play it. So I'm not sure if that affects anything. I don't really see why that's such an issue, but I don't know. Y'all let me know, my mans. These kind of videos work when a lot of comments happen, a lot of discussing happens. So make sure to leave a comment, drop a like if you enjoyed. Leave a sub if you're new. If someone hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. So stay awesome, bruh. And yeah.